Lebowski. Where's the money, Lebowski? Here's the fucking money, shithead!
It's down there somewhere. Let me take another look.
Bam! There's episode 2, getting off with a bang. We found an intro. That's the intro because we love The Big Lebowski.
How could you not?
I have said somewhere out there, someone smarter than me has created a scientific equation proving that The Big Lebowski is the greatest film of all time.
I don't need your science for that.
No, so that's it. We love it. It's there. Here we are with the Good Talk Podcast, Episode 2. I'm Jonah Lanto. I'm here with my good friend, Chris Rubb.
Thank you for joining us.
This man needs no introductions. He is a legend in his mind, my mind, and everybody else's. As he's traveling deep into the subconscious, nobody explores it like him. So, the last podcast... For those of you who listened, thank you. We love you. If you want to interact with our page, we're all dialed in now. It's at the Good Talk 5 on Twitter and Good Talk the Podcast on Facebook. Please connect with us, trash us, laugh with us, learn with us.
Troll us if you must.
Right. Troll us. Please fucking troll us.
Feedback is what we're living on here, people. That's what we need.
I do love trolls, but not like the worst kind.
Right.
The fun kind.
Yeah.
I think they're important, but so if you were with us the last time, I was parting the Red Sea of Chris Rubb's soul with the 5 most powerful questions.
Pretty successfully, I might add.
Right, and these are 5 questions that they are a revolving door. We've got a bunch of these. We've got a resource pool of 5 questions. And every time we get somebody on here, we're just going to shatter you with these questions, okay? And it's the Good Talk 5, right? And it started off with pizza or burrito. Of course, in that, Chris led us down the path of utter failure and devastation by picking burritos. Defend that. Defend your position.
You know what? I don't have any defense for that. You really surprised me with that question, and I was caught off guard. And all I can do right now is apologize. I have no excuse for myself.
Are you rolling with burritos? Am I going to roll you in that burrito and kick you the fuck out of here, or will you join the pizza team?
I don't think that'll be necessary. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to switch gears if I may. I'm going to flip flop, and I'm going to go.
Everybody gets one, baby.
I'm choosing pizza.
Thank you. I'm so glad you joined Team
It's good
Pizza.
to be here. I feel better already.
I do too. No, it's the right place to be. Fuck, without pizza, I would have starved and died already.
Right, yeah.
Some people say ramen, or cereal.
Some people are weird, dude.
Fucking pizza.
Right.
Pizza. Maybe like the Totino's boxes where you use it as a plate. I mean,
I
literally.
feel like the cardboard tastes better than the pizza at that point.
Well, just ask yourself.
A lot of people are going to disagree with me on that. I'm a pizza corner guy myself.
No, that's fine. Like, there's no right or wrong choice. I think there's a good debate, motherfuckers. Tell us out there. Hit us up at the Good Talk 5. Let us know what is your brand of oven pizza, because everybody does it a different way.
If it must be frozen, I want to hear about it.
Yeah, we want to know what your frozen pizza tastes are like. Like, do you put Tabasco on there? I'm a Tabasco guy if I can.
Me too. Sriracha too. Oof.
There you go.
Forget about it.
So, on to question 2, and I want to remind everybody listening, there's no third choices. If you try to bring a third choice...
Don't be that
guy.
Just don't.
The Good Talk 5, there's one choice or the other in all of these.
Right. We know you have your favorite too, but this isn't about you.
This is not about you or your damn favorite anything. Number 2, Chris Rubb.
Yes.
Shark or bird?
Shark or bird?
Shark or bird?
Any type of shark or any type of bird.
I will allow it, not a megalodon, because it's no longer alive.
Okay.
Living sharks, existing sharks, existing birds
extant,
only.
if you will.
Can't be a fucking pterodactyl. Is that a bird? Is a pterodactyl a bird?
Pterodactyl. Well,
that's
a dinosaur bird.
So it qualifies.
And it really, the debate is still raging as to whether or not they were feathered or flew like bats, through some sort of membrane.
With sonar?
Well, no, just how they became aloft. How did their wings work? Were they feathered like a bird, or were they just a thin membrane like a bat? The jury's still out on that.
Okay, so shark or bird? Where are you? Where are you at with that one? Like, you want to explore the
Gosh,
skies?
that's such a good one.
The depths of the ocean?
I feel bird. The ocean scares me.
Like,
Even
birds?
if you are a shark, and that really, like, what am I scared of? I'm scared of the freaking sharks. So, like, if you are a shark, maybe just, I don't know, bigger sharks, I guess, would be what to be scared of. But
Well, every animal's going to have a predator.
I'm very uncomfortable with deep water. That's never really been a strong suit of mine. I'm going to have to go bird.
We're going bird.
And preferably some sort of majestic bird of prey. Maybe an owl, some kind of wise-looking bird of prey. I can get down with that.
I could see it.
Sure.
Just like, creeping up there in your little owl hoof, like looking over the field.
Right.
Like
I
you would be this
the
owl.
graduation caps.
I could see you like being an owl that would grab its prey and be choking it to death with your fucking talons and assessing it before it dies. Like, what makes you tick, mouse? I am here killing you. I am an owl. This is my domain. But why? Why are you here? Like,
Right.
That is the Chris Rubb owl.
What is it that
bird of
led us
prey.
to this point, mouse? I really need to get to the bottom of this.
Yeah, what?
I can't just do something that profound and just take part in it and not question it. That's never been me.
No, it's not you. No, that mouse does not stand a fucking chance.
No, definitely not.
Okay, part of the Good Talk 5. Number 3, Iron Man or Obi-Wan Kenobi?
Specifically Obi-Wan.
Specifically Obi-Wan.
Oh,
I'm not
Iron Man.
like you don't. I'm not gonna let you nitpick a Jedi here.
Right.
Like you get to be Obi-Wan, the greatest Jedi of all time.
But now,
He's the greatest Jedi of all time.
yeah, I suppose.
I mean, he has in terms of opponents killed in all the films.
Right.
Obi-Wan Kenobi
Yeah.
of the Star Wars universe. He's done it all.
Yeah, I suppose he has. He's I would be hard pressed to choose a better Jedi, but
But
I'm still gonna go
Iron Man.
And Iron Man.
Tony Stark,
I
too. You
also
get to be Tony Stark.
I get to also be Tony Stark, not just permanently in the Iron Man suit, right?
yeah, of course not. No,
Well, I'm
you
definitely
can
going
totally
Tony
get out of the Iron
Stark 100% of the time.
Man. 100% of the time.
Absolutely.
Instead of being a fucking Jedi.
Yeah.
No, and I respect that.
Yep.
I respect that one.
I really like, and that's not one that I'm even open to jumping
that's
sides
easy.
on. That's
Boom.
really didn't need much thought about that at all.
So, in some ways, like Tony Stark, what he represents, that intelligence, the ingenuity, the innovation, these are the pillars that you love, right? You adore that.
Definitely, man. That is right up my alley. You know me, I kept always picking at things. I'm the engineer-minded type person, and if you lumped being a billionaire in with all that and the magnificent toys and facilities that
Hot
come
chicks.
along with all that,
Let's be real here.
Well, I'm not gonna discount.
Beautiful women and
Right.
great friends that.
What kind of monster would I be if I didn't mention
Monster.
the gorgeous women that would come along with me being a
with
billionaire?
you being Tony Stark,
Forget about it.
actually Chris Rubb,
Right. Dan Bilzerian would be jealous.
And that's nothing against Obi-Wan or
No, I
the
don't mean to take
Jedi
anything away
Order.
from the Jedi
right?
Order at all.
This is not an insult to Star Wars. Of
No,
course
it's just that Tony Stark is better than
We'd
you.
have to
That's
drag
all.
you out in the street and kill you if that were the case.
No, and it never will be.
No, it never will be.
No.
Okay. Question number 4 in our Good Talk 5 today. And I'm going to tell you, folks, some of these questions will be revisited.
Sure.
With other guests. But you can add to them. We want more. I've got a bunch, but this is the one I'm drawing right now, and I love this one right here. This
What you
is
got?
you didn't know this one was coming.
Oh.
We got through a few of these questions yesterday, guys, before we realized our recording fucked up.
Right.
So
We're new at this, people.
Rubb knew these first couple questions
Right,
were
yeah.
coming, but now I've brought some of these other questions right out of Pandora's box.
I'm sweating over here. I don't know what's coming.
We're gonna divide the fucking humanity right here. No, it's not our goal. I'm just kidding. We want to bring everybody together, but
We want to expose our differences so that we may come together later.
We want to
Yes,
understand the
expose
sides.
them. Yes,
We wanna
pull back
cut-
the veil of misunderstanding. Let's
We
do
want to
that.
cut your brain in half, and he's gonna stand on one side, and I'm gonna stand on the other.
Sure.
And we want to just kind of see what falls into the crevice.
Oh, I like that analogy.
Isn't that cool? I just thought of that. That just fucking came out of me
This
right
is
now.
why we're doing this, people. It's
That's precisely
shit
why we're
like
doing
that.
this. Okay, so I've never asked anybody this question either. I just thought of it tonight too. So I'm fucking cool.
I've never
Here
been
we
so
go.
intimidated by something I don't even know what's coming. Let's have it.
Time travel or immortality?
Well, they're one and the same.
No.
Well, I guess
No,
they're really not.
Because time travel,
I'm still going to experience the passing of time in
Absolutely.
from my own reference point.
and you can tinker
wouldn't
a little
wanna-
bit. You can tinker with time travel and be weird, and you can go back and change things.
Right.
Right. But you are
But I still am
limited to
limited to roughly those 75-ish years from my own point of reference.
with time travel. Your mortal coil
Right. It still
Keeps you.
ages. It
Yeah.
still ages because you're still going through an experience.
or immortality. I mean, you go through.
Time travel for me easily. I would not want to be immortal. At least as a physical body. No, the physical body's going to wear out. It's going to get old. You're going to get you're going to get full of scars and
So
all
you
kinds
think
of-
like in a
body's gonna wear
situation of immortality, the way you perceive it is your body's dying on you and decaying, but your
obviously.
mind stays strong. Like, what do you think? Like,
Now-
you're
now that I-
you're
now
going to
that
be
I
a
think of it-
700-year-old fucking skeleton,
Right. Yeah,
Immortality
no,
can't
no,
work
no,
that
no.
way.
Then
you have to be able
obviously,
to regenerate.
true immortality would never work that way. You would have to essentially stay the same age that you are at the moment you were granted immortality. In other words, if you were granted it at 9 months old, you're going to be a 9-month-old for life or for forever. I suppose, am I granted it at 35? Was I granted it at 18? At some point, your physical body, your physiology has to stop aging. I suppose.
I mean, well, that's
It
the same
would
thing
depend
with.
greatly on at that point when I was offered immortality.
Well, it's
when I
the same
accepted
thing
it.
with time travel. What if if you don't discover it until you are 70 and
Right.
you're dying and
Yeah.
you're a smoker, so your
Right.
fucking lungs are caving in on you and gassing up and turning gray and
Sure.
body hates you, and then you finally discover time travel.
Yeah. It's a shitty deal.
Oh, it is. Like,
there's
fuck,
nothing that
timing.
we haven't postulated anything that's
I would-
that's going to solve your current
I would
issues.
think you'd
physically.
use time travel to go back and never start smoking cigarettes, and then that way you'd be able to live past.
Well, that supposes
death mark.
That supposes that time is linear. In
course.
that, like, if I go back and affect something, that affects the person who left to go make that effect. I myself am much more a favorite of like a multiverse type theory that you would go back into time, but that nothing that you did in that time frame would affect anything that from the time frame that you came from. And they're interdependent universes. They don't jive with each other. You can travel to them from them, given the technology that it would be required to do time travel. But
you'd have
as
to
per
hope.
their effect on the one another, that would be non-existent.
So your contention or theory behind that would be, of course, layman's terms. I fucking love how you broke it down right there. How we are looking at that as if you went back in time and altered something, that opens up a new dimension, a
Right.
new reality.
Yeah.
that exists.
That solves the grandfather
next
paradox.
to, of course,
that
it
solves a lot of paradoxes when
Yeah.
you're able to completely set forth a new reality based on the fact that you are there, whereas you weren't before. You went back and traveled into something that had to create an entirely new reality that has no effect on the reality that you left. One day, in the reality that you left, you're just gone. You lived to a point, and then you just disappeared into your time machine, and you never returned.
You never return.
No, well, no, not to that one.
So
you
even
could return to a different one.
Furthermore, like once you enter your version of the time travel machine, and you're picking time travel here to be clear over
Yeah,
immortality.
yeah.
Once you make
Maybe a
the
lot more
choice
interesting.
to jump in your time travel machine and shift out of your current time and reality, that's it. You're turning your back on everything you know in that realm because you can't return.
Essentially, it's as far as I can understand it, and this is a very complex, just a theory.
Listen, folks.
Even when we begin tilting our
We
hand-
don't know how time travel works, of course. I mean, unless we are time travelers.
No, but at least we can postulate based on getting rid of as many paradoxes as possible, like the grandfather paradox and things like that, where obviously if I go back in time and kill my grandfather, well, that creates a paradox because my grandfather never lived to a point where he created my mother, who created me, to allow me to go back in time to kill my grandfather. Well, that obviously that doesn't work that way. That's known as the grandfather paradox. And in order to get around that, you have to invent new realities where you go to visit. It's not necessarily going back in the time of your timeline because time isn't linear. It's a coexisting of multiple realities, all of which are taking place concordantly, all of which are taking place at the same time.
Awesome. I love it. And bam, that was question
At that point,
number
it's
4.
less time travel and more interdimensional travel.
Well, yeah, time travel essentially becomes interdimensional travel at that point.
At that point, once you're dealing with many realities as opposed to just one timeline.
And let me tell you, I've gone interdimensional. That's a story for another time.
Another time, another podcast. Maybe episode 3, huh?
I've been there, folks. I'm choosing immortality in that one.
Okay.
I'm not going to explain.
Care to defend?
No, I'm not going to explain my position at all. I just get to hit you with these, and I get to simply answer.
I see how this goes.
Right? Isn't that fucked up?
Oh man.
No, I don't.
No, you don't have to defend it.
I have to now.
Oh, you kind of do.
No, I want to. I've been fascinated with the concept of immortality for as long as I can.
It is
remember.
a fascinating topic.
I would drink the blood of whatever. I'd be a vampire.
Whatever, man.
I'd go be a vampire.
Sure.
Whatever. That's what I would do. I would choose immortality because I guess I want to see the passing of time. I want to see how it all happens.
Just where this all ends.
Where does it go?
Yeah.
I'm not
I
really
understand the draw of it.
It doesn't. Yeah, of course. And I think that I could shoulder the burden.
There would be a tremendous
of
burden
the grief.
Everyone you know and love dying.
Of course. I think that makes me sad. I can think about that alone in the dark and just cry if I really push myself.
In your Scrooge McDuck vault, because no doubt you've gained enough knowledge to make enough money to be very rich and powerful, and you've gained enough knowledge and things. You've just learned enough to be that wise old owl, I suppose.
I would love to think I wouldn't squander my immortality just becoming like the world's best video game player. And
right.
Maybe it's for one lifetime. There's some that's a
You've got
lucrative
so much
thing.
time to work with. Does humanity have enough time to work with, though?
Well, humanity has a lot of time to offer you.
You come to the party so late.
I would have to befriend Elon Musk if I was an immortal. I'd be like, listen, study me. I've achieved immortality.
Yeah.
Let's replicate this. But then I'd probably just become his personal science project.
I feel like
That'd
they'd
be
probably
scary.
just cut you to pieces.
Yeah. Hack me up, dissect me,
Right.
just like they do to all the aliens.
Yeah.
You know,
Obviously.
Every alien that's ever been found has clearly been dissected.
Duh.
It's on the internet. Fuck. So are we. So what does that tell you?
So obviously we're real.
Our final Good Talk 5 question of the day, and maybe we can get through this one. We can move through these as quickly or slowly as we want.
Yeah, it's our show,
Time
dude.
has no meaning.
It's our show. Time has no meaning. There's no time.
Do you want it done right?
Or do you want it done fast? Or do you want it done right?
Aqua Teen Hunger Force reference for those of you listening out there. And question 5.
Bring it.
Macho Man or Hulk Hogan?
You had to cut right to the soul of me.
Oh, I am. I told you.
These are ruthless,
I want to
questions.
rip everybody in half. I want to rip your soul apart and find out what makes you tick.
Well, this is doing it.
Yeah.
Let me tell
right
you.
now. What is falling into the crevice right there? Like
charisma of Macho Man versus Hulkamania itself, the embodiment of Hulkamania in the 1980s. These are very powerful, palpable things.
The flying elbow drop or the atomic leg drop. Let's be real. Like, based on the move,
the leg drop would not hurt.
No, the leg drop.
That elbow drop could hurt like
the
a
elbow drop
bitch.
could be devastating.
It could kill a man.
I know where I stand on this measure, and
gotta go Macho
it's an
Man.
easy one for me.
I've got to go
Macho Man.
Okay, and I'm gonna say this. I will say this. A lot of it, maybe it is that Macho Man never really, he didn't become the late in life douchebag that Hogan has become.
Rip.
I'm sorry?
Rip. Rest in peace.
Sure. Yeah. Well, absolutely.
He did
But
release
he didn't,
a rap album.
It seems as though, I don't know, Terry Bollea or Bollea, whatever his real name is,
Hogan.
he just kind of
He's done
became
some
such
shitty
a
things
douche.
in his later years.
And I don't really like it.
No.
And
we've lived too long.
It seems as though he either lived too long, or we were fed something that was just very much not what the real man was.
What's the cool quote? And I would love. I know we've got maybe it's
The quote was, "Oh yeah."
Oh yeah,
Yes.
that quote
That's the
works
one you
too.
were looking for.
Don't provoke the madness, brother.
Snap into a Slim Jim. Or something like
Snap
that?
into a Slim Jim. I'm snapping into some
Said
Macho
rather
Man.
emphatically.
I love the guy. I definitely grew up a Hulkamaniac.
Absolutely.
I loved the Hulkster.
When they were a tag team,
The Mega Powers. It's glorious. The glory years of wrestling.
Oh.
When there was a time in this country, there was a time
there was a time.
when everybody watched wrestling.
I feel like that's right.
It does feel like it.
Yeah.
I grew out of it.
I did too.
Not because it isn't cool.
But
it's
it
just-
isn't
It,
anymore. It got
for
really
me.
stupid.
it crashed.
These guys talk about their feelings now, and it's just so, it's a male soap opera. It's gotten very dumb.
That's that's how they would slice it up. But listen, I think there are some great, amazing, cool things about wrestling. I still got a lot of love for it, for all that history.
Sure.
But I'm going Macho Man all the way.
I agree.
I thought it was always a damn shame that he was kind of
He
always
always took
second
that
tier in the
second
in
seat,
yeah, fucking backseat behind Hogan. He did reign as the champion for a full year.
He's
though.
an Intercontinental Champ
That was
as
pretty
well.
cool. Well,
for a
yeah,
good
but
long while.
A full 1 year title reign
As
from
world
WrestleMania to
heavyweight.
WrestleMania. Yeah, that was pretty.
Was that
cool.
right? Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Fact.
good.
Fact. And if it's not a fact, somebody correct my ass. Call me out on Twitter at the Good Talk 5
Yeah.
and tell me that I am a fucking terrible wrestling fan.
You have a
for
Google
not
machine
knowing.
in front of you,
Right,
but
no,
we're
that's
trying
it.
to podcast
No,
right
I'm
now.
trying to podcast. I can't do it all. I don't have a guy, but we're on Twitter at the Good Talk 5.
Right.
Find us. We're on Facebook. Talk some shit with us. Talk some shit to us.
Troll Jonah. He likes it. a
I
lot.
probably deserve it.
The amount of trolling
I-
you've done in the past, you absolutely do deserve it.
coming to me. I believe, hey, I'm a good faith believer in karma. So whatever trolling comes my way, I know I've earned it.
Sure.
But not asshole spoiler trolls. 'Cause
No,
you guys
no,
are just
no.
pieces of shit.
Keep it in good fun.
Okay.
Keep it in good fun. We're not trying to hurt anybody here.
You can't go
Or
telling
ruin anybody's
everybody.
good time.
Dude, no, I did these amazingly trollish things where I threw out fake Game of Thrones spoilers
Yeah,
to people.
I bit hook, line, and sinker on one of the very first ones. I just blew up on him. You son of a bitch! Oh, how dare you! And it turns out it was complete horse shit.
I had people calling me a motherfucker.
Oh, and you deserved it.
Deleting me from Facebook, like getting private like hate messages telling me, dude, fuck
Dude,
man,
you
I
can't-
really like
can't-
you,
You
but
can't just go about doing
did you
that.
really just fucking do that?
Are you serious?
There is still one fake spoiler I put out there for a certain show. I know for a fact that it hit people and they don't yet know that it's real. I'm not going to say which one or where it's at, but I'm really proud of it, and I can't wait for the moment when these people who have been hating me week after week, that motherfucker, every episode I watch, I fucking know what's gonna happen. This guy's gonna die, and he fucking ruined it for me. And then the season's gonna pass, and nobody's gonna die, and I'm gonna be left inexplicably.
Probably like some sort of Walking Dead or something. I don't watch Walking
something.
Dead, so I don't know.
No, something. So, moving on, one thing we kind of toiled with in the last podcast,
Yeah.
but didn't dive into, and I fucking love it because I've been called one of these a lot in my life, and I'm proud of it. I'll wear it with the badge of honor, and that
I've been
is,
called a lot of things, Jonah.
oh God, some of them stick.
Well, right.
Some
of them are very fitting.
but
Some
it's
of them you deserve.
conspiracies, tinfoil hat wearers,
Oh, yeah.
conspiracy theories.
Sure.
What was your first one? Like that you remember going
Oh,
back
this
in
is
your
a
life,
good one.
right? That you go from high school or from your childhood.
Probably the entire...
Is it Roswell?
The entire story of Area 51, Roswell, the crash back in what was 42-ish or something. It was, I don't know even if it was that. I don't know that we were in World War II at the time. Whatever. It was that whole ball of wax.
That was the big one.
That was the big one. That definitely was one of the first ones.
1947.
That one, and maybe if there is such a conspiracy about Amelia Earhart or any one of those things you might have seen on Unsolved Mysteries back in the day. If you can consider any one of those things conspiracy, those would have been some of the first things that I was exposed to.
When I reflect on my propensity for conspiracy theories, they're very. I have like an insatiable hunger for wonder.
Sure.
And
I'd love to hear them.
They really satisfy that desire, and I wonder if it really links back to the programming I got at a young age from Unsolved Mysteries.
Robert Stack.
That was major programming.
That voice and that song, to this day, I mean, goosebumps and like this sense of terror that would come over me, because like I used to have just this big fear of aliens and abduction and all this other things, and when they would do their alien abduction stories, I don't know why my parents let me watch that shit, but they did, and I would lay in bed terrified until I'd fall asleep.
Thinking aliens were coming down to get you. Oh my
now
God.
I wish they would.
Now, like, I'm inviting them.
At
to
35,
dissect
I'm going,
me.
bring it. Like, get me out of here. Show me your technology in the universe and how you seem to overcome all this bullshit that we're going through at this point.
And that was definitely, I think, the first major one I remember anybody talking to me about or leaving an impression on me about. Look at these aliens.
That's like the holy grail of at least
everyone
American-based conspiracy theories. Definitely Area 51.
When I was a kid, what added maybe some sort of added sense of credibility, and again, a lot of people have probably heard about this, but it was really fascinating, and this was my first conspiracy theory that I bought into, being Roswell, was the technology that followed this crash.
Yeah. Yes. The windfall of new technology that we got near and dear after roughly it was in the 40s that it crashed, and our technology as a species just started taking giant leaps forward from that very day. You know what I mean? And it's so easy to attribute it. Oh well, obviously we took apart and took this spacecraft apart and reverse engineered its technology, and that's why we have fighter jets and lasers and global positioning systems and the ability to go to the moon and what have you. Well, it's compelling, is what it is. It's damned compelling, and it makes for a good story. It makes for a really good story.
Moon,
sure.
Leading into the next one.
Yeah.
The truthers, the moon truthers.
Right.
Do you just cut and dry?
Yes.
Do you think we went to the moon?
Yes, I do.
I do too.
Yes, I do.
I do too. I remember this dude.
If by the moon you mean a sound set in Arizona somewhere, a sound stage in Arizona somewhere. No, I'm kidding. Yes, we went to the fucking moon.
But at what point are we going to cross the technological bridge of actually being able to sell that sort of lie to the public? Are we already there? I mean, now.
Is it a matter of technology, I suppose, or is it like really convincing that amount of people to keep their mouths shut? Everyone who was involved in the lunar launch and landing, the hundreds of scientists and engineers and what have you, that built and designed and launched this craft and went to the moon. What, everyone's lying to you? Everyone? And everyone kept their mouths shut, except like the few weirdos that want to dispense, conspiracy theory here and there about whether or not we actually went. I don't know, folks. It's highly unlikely. And the craft weighed enough. There was enough fuel aboard. It was able to achieve a high enough speed to escape Earth's gravity. There's nothing that says that we did that craft didn't go to the moon. It had enough fuel.
Right.
It weighed enough. It went fast enough.
How would you have simulated the rocket like this? Oh yeah, we just shot a rocket into space and that was it, and humans got out of there.
Right. I suppose. I mean,
and that's
the
why
rocket could have you could have made it crash into the ocean.
Well, and that's one of the main assaults that a lot of people will deploy against conspiracy theories is, well, look at the amount of people that would had to have kept this a secret.
Yeah.
Well, we all know secrets don't really work.
Not really.
We've played that game where you tell one person a secret just to see if it comes back to you and how it comes back and how it's related. So I do want to agree to a point. Anything involving X, what's the X number of people? At what point do you hit the threshold that people can't keep this great secret? 2?
Oh, that's a good
2,
question.
3, 4, 5?
Probably, like 2? You could probably count them on a single hand. I mean, and it depends on the secret. What are the implications of keeping it or giving it up? How much does one have to gain by giving it up? I don't know. Not many, though.
The
especially
implications of giving it up would be
big.
being on somebody's fucking hit list, probably.
Right? Yeah.
Like really, if you're part of one of the good ones.
If it's something that big, and if you're a governmental type organization that is, not altruistic in nature, and you're trying to keep a secret, then yeah, you're going to employ tactics like that, where if you do speak out, it's not going to be just you, it's going to be your family, and it's going to be things like that, where we're going to take you all out. But
No, I certainly...
am I suggesting anything like that happened with the Apollo missions? No. Am I suggesting that it may have happened with other things? Possibly. Yeah.
Well, it's true that conspiracies have been revealed.
Definitely.
That people
things
predicted.
that were initially taken as conspiracy have been shown to be quite real.
I don't think that there is a science out there that can point us to like a percentage of conspiracies that, because there's new ones hatching every day.
Right.
Any Tom, Dick, or Harry with a microphone like you or I
we could make one up right now.
Right now.
You wanna?
Yeah. Let's end this with our own conspiracy at some point. Like, it doesn't have to come out now, because
Sure.
a good conspiracy, some of the best ideas are just the ones that kind of hatch out.
They
right?
really are.
You got to plan, you got to coordinate, you got to orchestrate, but it's got to hatch.
We shall call this project Organic Conspiracy X1.
We can't take Project Mayhem. That was already used.
Right. Organic Conspiracy.
Project Organic Conspiracy.
Hatching the madness. Oh, yeah.
What does that mean? Humans are being farmed? Like,
not necessarily that this is a conspiracy
We're
having to
farming
do with
your
something
brains.
organic, only that it came to our minds organically, and that we weren't forcing inspiration in any way.
No, you can't really force the inspiration.
No.
You can look for some triggers, some things.
Keep your eyes open too. Just be ready for it.
Will help you develop. And one of the great conspiracies, and I don't know if it's a conspiracy or not, or if it's real. I certainly subscribe to it. Ticket scalping.
Ugh.
It's disgusting, and the foil hat wearer in me says that the assholes selling the tickets are working in conjunction with the scalpers. It's all a fucking racket. You're getting, people are double charging taxes.
There's so much money involved. There's just,
it's a
whenever you got
grotesque
money
amount of money.
involved, people are going to figure out how to get that money.
Well, I hate it. Like, I remember as a kid growing up, I could go to the local venue when tickets went on sale. I could buy a fucking ticket for X dollar amount, and that was that.
Yep.
The internet sort of ruined ticket acquisition for people. I don't abide by the resource sharing concept working when it comes to what has become of tickets out there in the world, quadruple price tickets, and it's awful. So like when a public on sale happens for a ticket at a concert venue, and I'm not going to target any given venue, but we'll say that venue has 16,000 seats available.
Right.
Well, at the public on sale on Friday at 10 a.m., probably 15, depending on the state. Now, it's different in each state, but each state only requires a minimum percentage of those tickets to be made available to the public at that time.
Okay.
So, as a venue, you can say, well, yeah,
Is that why they can say that they're like sold out in 10 minutes?
Yes.
Is that how that happens?
Of course, you sell it in 10 fucking minutes because you only released 4,000 tickets for a show that
I've always wondered how that works.
thousands of people want to see. Well, when you slice off all the pre-sales now, so if there's a cool show, you've got various Ticketmaster pre-sales affiliated with Visa or MasterCard or American Express, all these credit card companies. There's the venue. There's the fan pre-sale.
Yep.
So usually there's a handful of them. So you slice all those out. Then you slice out the 10,000 that they're going to put on various websites, such as StubHub, or any others. All these other intermediary websites are just out to fuck you. Mm-hmm. That's just somebody that's bought tickets. And what's weird about that is when a ticket is sold in a state, so if the ticket's face value is $50, already there's a service charge and a transaction fee associated with that the state is getting a cut of a ticket sale.
Sure.
Now, in the same state, if I take that ticket and I list it on StubHub, there's service charges and fees associated with StubHub where the state is getting
We're getting multiple transactions for just one ticket.
Yeah.
And each one of those transactions is subject to fees, fines, and taxes.
I've championed and voiced out against scalping for a long fucking time because I've faced it and I've tried to get tickets for shows I love. And when you see an instantaneous sellout of 20,000 seats or whatever, and there's immediately half that number available throughout all these bullshit scalping websites,
you got to know what just went on.
Awful. It's awful. Well, a lot of people don't. A lot of people don't, because I have people that come and ask me, and they're like, how the fuck did this sell out so quick?
Yeah. And you got to
we're
explain to them again and again,
Sure.
Just how that went down. In that regard, I really like what people like Louis C.K. are doing. Louis C.K., for anybody you might know, not know, a very famous comedian, one of the best in the world right now. He's touring nationally, has for a long time, but he's doing his part to, I guess, change the paradigm on ticket sales and how the whole thing is handled. He's making, let's see here, I've got the article right in front of me here. He has announced plans to tour through the remainder of the year, yada, yada, yada. Let me see here.
Any fight against ticket scalping is a fight worth talking about. Pearl Jam tried to do it years ago when they sued Ticketmaster, and it was blissful. And anything Louis C.K. has done to champion that effort is something I applaud.
C.K. is selling tickets for the tour, for the tour's U.S. dates directly through his website, with nearly all tickets selling for $50 or less. And he's also worked to eliminate ticket fees for all the shows. He says that my agent and I have worked to accomplish this by negotiating in every city and finding venues that were willing to help us make the shows more affordable. CK continued in saying, in some cases, this means that me and the venues are splitting the ticket charges between us so that you don't have to pay it. In the end, it's worth it to me because I don't want coming to see me to be a painful choice for anyone. And either way, I'm making plenty of money on the tour. You just can't, you just cannot not love that man and what he's doing in making it easier for people to go see him.
Louis C.K. is a goddamn hero for doing that.
Absolutely.
I personally...
As for those who plan to take the opportunity of the simple and cheap ticketing on this tour and turn a profit by scalping the tickets, CK said that his team is working hard to prevent any unfair reselling, threatening invalidating the tickets. He says that any tickets purchased off of StubHub or any other similar service may not be valid. That's pretty solid, man.
He is taking money out of his pocket to pay a team to prevent,
and he's warning it as customer service.
And he threw it out there. Yeah, it's not like
it's not just going to be a surprise. He said he sent a customer service email has been sent up to assist anyone facing issues with their tickets under these guidelines. So that's a guy he's recognizing that there's a problem and he's doing something about it, and he's the talent. He's not relying on some kind of production company or waiting for someone else to do something about it. He's just stepping up and doing something about it. That's pretty solid, dude. I applaud the hell out of that.
Well, now the capitalist would tell you here that capitalism is working because scalping just created jobs because Louis C.K. hired people to hunt down scalpers.
Capitalism is a wonderful thing, but it doesn't need to be applied to everything. It doesn't need to be caked on to every situation that can possibly be thought of. It's this great thing in certain situations in its own place, but it's not a paradigm to live your life by.
No, we don't have to tie everything with a cute little capitalism bow. Package it up and send it on its way.
That's been the answer so far in Western society for a few hundred years. Is that what's the answer? Well, just capitalism. Yes, it's a wonderful thing in its place.
Give it a capitalism
bow. Wonderful things.
Give
but
it a
it's
Jesus
not the
bow.
Answer to everything.
Package
it removes the heart from a lot of things, and it makes them very, very sterile and very boring.
Yeah, and clearly the conspiracy of these controlling entities working together to steal fucking money from people, if you ask me.
Yeah.
I suppose at the other end of that, maybe there's just some fucking guy trying to feed his kid that bought these tickets. But fuck, it's become such a racket. I hate it. People deserve face value tickets. And
it goes towards ruining the experience of something that should be enjoyable. When you go and see an act, when you go and see maybe your favorite band or your favorite act or what have you, it should be a pure experience. It should be something that doesn't get tainted along the way where, I don't know. I know that nothing is perfect. Perfection doesn't exist. But,
no, it doesn't.
But, I don't know. It should be a little more...
Maybe in the stars it does.
Maybe.
I mean,
Yeah, that's
maybe
pretty
there's-
damn close to perfect up there.
I would have to say perfection exists for sure within this galaxy, because if there wasn't
Anything that's not subject to a conscious entity fucking with it, I suppose.
it's perfect.
And is it not perfect?
because
doesn't necessarily make
this
it perfect,
galaxy
but-
wouldn't work any other way if it wasn't aligned the way we are now. Correct?
I'm sorry, what?
This galaxy
Mm-hmm.
would not work the way it is. We would, as humans, wouldn't be here where we are
Right.
if it wasn't for
Absolutely.
absolute perfection
Pretty
in
much.
mathematical equations of where we are rotating
Not
in
only-
reference to the moon and
not
the sun.
only that, but,
the
like,
planetary
matter-
alignment.
Not only that, but like matter in general in the universe would not have cooled and condensed into, you know, the elements that form the periodic table had certain laws of thermodynamics, of weak and strong nuclear force, electromagnetism, and gravity not been, and I mean precisely what they are. If you change the strength of the strong or weak nuclear force or electromagnetism by hundredths of a percent, the entire universe just doesn't happen. It never, after the Big Bang, either there is no Big Bang or matter never happens. It's all just
Slow
kind
down
of this
for just 1
electrical
second.
soup.
I love it. So, and what that means, real simply, if the moon, or we'll say Saturn,
Sure.
were 4 degrees, one way or the other, out of place to where they are now, it would throw everything off.
I mean,
Right? Like people would
not automatically, possibly,
It never would have been achieved the way it is now.
maybe.
Because
it still
they would-
might have worked.
You think
Maybe.
Maybe.
But what is certain is that if you change the fundamental laws of matter and of nature itself, space and time, the things that coalesce to form protons and neutrons, that form atoms, that form molecules, that form you, those are the things that if you change them by like anything, then the entire universe never happens. Like it never cools down enough, or it never coalesces from a primordial soup of neutrinos and whatnot into actual matter and elements that form the entire universe. If you change any of those laws, and specifically I'm talking about the strong and weak nuclear force, electromagnetism, and gravity. Those are like the main forces of nature. They work so precisely. It's so convenient that the universe ended up the way it was, the way that it is.
Well, it's ultra convenient.
Very.
And I like to ponder that. I don't know. I am not classically trained about space and
Sure.
how and all of our relevance together in this
Nor am I.
galaxy. But I like to
I
think
just
about
like to read about it.
Exactly. And that was always sort of one thing I had pondered when considering space. Like, how much would it set us off course to throw off some of these alignments? Like, and someone else suggested to me, if the moon were a couple thousand miles further away from
Oh yeah,
us,
that's gonna fuck with you.
that's what I mean. Like, we wouldn't work. Like, the gravity here would change so greatly, right?
The
Like,
gravity
that's-
would be roughly the same, but you wouldn't experience tides the way that you do. And tides have been a force of mixing the ocean and churning things about for like hundreds of billions, or well, not hundreds of billions, but hundreds of millions, billions of years. They're a force of moving things around, moving water through through the oceans, and even subterraneally. Saltwater aquifers and things like that getting pulled around, eroding rock and creating nutrients for living things that have given rise to our biology. Without the moon being pretty much specifically where it's been and doing its thing right where it's been doing it, things are going to be dramatically different, depending on what change you make to the moon. But as per things like Saturn, less and less changes that you would experience here and now. Jupiter is going to be a big one because Jupiter is sort of our galactic goalkeeper in that it's so big, massive, and it's such a gravitational well that it sucks up a lot of the free-floating rocks, asteroids, meteors, and comets that would otherwise slam into smaller planets like us. It's kind of a big goalkeeper up there, and it's saved us, no doubt, countless times. From getting whacked upside the head.
Wait, did you guys hear that?
Pretty big rock.
Jupiter just saved our life.
It has
Just
done
now.
that many times.
Just now.
Many
It happened.
times. Countless times.
Countless times.
It's
happening
critical.
constantly.
Without Jupiter,
It's up there catching fucking comets like a center fielder, just
Definitely.
all the time.
Definitely.
Right? Meteorites.
Yes.
Like whatever's out there.
Anything that's flying, erratically through our solar system is going to be drawn first towards Jupiter and then towards the sun. If it passes through Jupiter's gravity without smacking Jupiter, it's going to be drawn towards the sun. If we happen to be, the Earth, happen to be between, Jupiter and the sun at that point, we're going to get smacked. That's just kind of how it works. The Earth exists in a cosmic shooting gallery all the time.
If that happens,
When
it happens,
When?
historians will fucking blame ticket scalpers.
Sure, as they should.
You motherfuckers.
They should.
You ruin everything. I actually have this fucked up story about ticket scalpers. And unfortunately, with the experience of my first music festival, which one of the most life-altering...
What was your first?
My first music festival was Sasquatch Music Festival 2006.
Okay.
9 Inch Nails was the headliner.
Oh,
they were what drew
that would be
me.
awesome.
Yeah, they were what drew me there. I had no idea what a music festival really was at that time. People here
How could you until you go? You don't know.
You have no idea. For those that don't know, Sasquatch Music Festival, it happens in the Pacific Northwest at the beautiful Gorge. It's still the most amazing concert venue I've been to in my life.
I really enjoyed it. I went in 2011.
Right, and in 2006, I was a newbie. People around Minot had talked about the 10K Music Festival. I guess for whatever reason, I was a young father. I feared it. I didn't know what it was about.
I never made it to that one, and I wish I had. So many people had a lot of fun at 10K.
10K has so many good stories that I've heard come out of it.
I keep hearing them, and I'm like, I can't believe it.
And so much music that I love now, like Humphreys and McGee.
Yeah.
I've even
when they were,
and
that's when they were like, they weren't
small.
Humphreys
They were
McGee
small,
then.
yeah.
I think even Soundtribe played at 10K.
Yeah, no, they totally did.
Oh my god.
And that's before they were then.
They were. I mean, yeah, they were not. They're not freaking headlining, 40,000 people.
And that was as
festivals
close.
here.
10K was as close. Like everybody around here went and freaked out every year. Coming up, like 2001, 2002, 2003.
Yeah.
Growing up here in Minot, you couldn't not hear about 10K. And like I wish I would have gone. I can't get that back. But I did go in 2006 to Sasquatch.
Sure.
One of our very, very fucking good friends, one of the coolest redheads I know, future law student, Terry Efforts. Terry girl, I hope you're listening. I hope you're loving this. Thank you for coming to Sasquatch with me in 2006. She got ripped off by scalpers there.
Oh, really?
It was fucking shitty. It was so terrible. So we roll up to the Sasquatch campground. Again, we have no idea what to expect. And you roll into this campground for the first time, and there's 20,000 people camping there.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Thousands and thousands of cars. There's tents everywhere. People are everywhere. It was a wonderland.
Yeah.
For us small North Dakota folks. Like, we were not yet very well traveled at that point. 10 years later into the future, now we are pretty well traveled. But back then, so we roll up, we set up camp, and Terry figured, hey, she would buy tickets to the box office because tickets were still available.
Okay.
It was Terry girl, myself, and Guido Steve, this weird dude from Washington who's no longer involved in any of our lives, but he was there at the time and he served his purpose. He was the man for his place and time. He fit right in there. Good multi-time single-serving friend.
Sure.
We roll up. We're going to go buy tickets, and there's this nice young couple, and they say, "Hey, we get tickets for sale." And Terry's like, "Well, hey, let me just fucking buy these tickets from these guys.
Right.
Save some money. Not buying a ticket at the gate." And right away they come up to us and they're like, "Yeah, we've got 2 tickets." And Terry's like, "Well, I only need the one. These guys already have tickets. How much do you want for it?" And dude's like $70. A day pass was like $100.
Okay.
And $70 for the one. Terry's like, "Well, it's my birthday. Can I get a slight discount?" And he's like, "Yeah, okay, I'll take 50 or whatever." And I might have these numbers wrong, but whatever.
Right.
You get the point. So she gives him the money. She takes it. She gets the ticket. And we're like, fucking great. And Terry goes like, "Yeah, fuck yeah." I remember asking the dude, I was like, "Well, hey, why are you selling your tickets?" And he said, we came last night for Kings of Leon, and that's all we're really here for. We don't, and it might have been some other headliner. I again don't recall. I have to look into that.
A long time ago.
Right, but bottom line was they weren't there for Nine Inch Nails, so they had bought 3-day passes because that was back when you bought it.
That should have raised a red flag right there.
Well, dude, yeah, and it kind of did. That's why I asked the question, but I guess it wasn't. Because clearly there was some sort of subconscious discomfort from this situation that was calling out to me. There was a warning.
Ask questions,
sign.
Jonah. Ask questions. Try to,
And I should have pursued it more. You can't take it back. But that was back when if you bought a 3-day pass to like a concert or a festival like that, they give you a ticket for each day.
Right.
Now you just get like a wristband. Yeah. You couldn't really do that. But so they gave her the ticket. We part ways. We go to fucking roll in. Boom, they scan my ticket. Boom, they scan Guido's ticket. Of fucking course, Terry Girl's ticket doesn't scan. Boom.
So it was just a fraud ticket? Like
Total. So what had happened was essentially those assholes went into the festival that day, had their ticket scanned, and then fucking
and
left.
avoided it, but they were able to keep it.
Right. They were able to keep it because... these guys didn't know what the fuck they were doing back then. Obviously, what a terrible plan. We're going to scan this
and then give it back to
and
you.
not allow re-entry because re-entry wasn't allowed. If you left the festival out at that point, you could enter the festival
but
grounds.
We're also going to give you the stub back.
No, we're going to give you the whole ticket back.
The whole
fucking ticket. It wasn't even a stub.
It's not unmolested. It's not marked. It's not.
No way to indicate. So yeah, and I think I'm downplaying. I think actually Terry was probably fucking out like more money than that. But it was so shitty. It was so devastating. We were
just ruin it. It doesn't necessarily have to ruin an experience.
No, it didn't.
But it
dude,
cheapens it. It sullies it.
Sure.
It takes away from what should be something that's very. I don't know. I tend to over poeticize things, but it should be very beautiful and pure.
I think beyond that moment, it really was. We really discovered what connecting with new music around open-minded people could lead you to explore.
And what better way to describe the festival experience than just what came out of your mouth there?
And that is only a small piece of it, and anybody who has been to a music festival,
but if you wanted to condense it into one sentence, and that's specifically it, exploring new music with open-minded people, that's a great way to start.
Sure,
because that's going to take you, that's going to open you up and take you into an experience that might possibly change you. It might. I'm not going to stand here and say, it changed my life.
It did though.
But
it 100% changed my life.
Sure
because
as shit could.
And beyond the incredible music that I saw there with 9 Inch Nails that night still really entrenching itself as one of the 4 or 5 best shows I've seen.
No.
We went on
I bet they're so good.
Dude, we met some fucking crazy, cool, interesting people after the show.
Always will.
And there's nothing. If you guys have never seen this, anyone who's been to Sasquatch or the Gorge or anywhere else that has it, the human snake when you are leaving,
walking from the main stage back to the campground.
Yes. Listen, when you guys leave Sasquatch Festival grounds
or the Gorge, humanity,
it is. It's the mass humanity. It's the mass exodus of meat robots snaking their way down. Tens of thousands. And they're all shifting and waddling like fucking penguins, and everybody's making their own little noises.
Some of them are at different levels of consciousness than others.
Way different levels.
Way different levels. Some of them have leveled way up.
Well, when you're leaving those and you really start to try to tune into the different frequencies, you tap into this energy that's all around you.
It can be standoffish or it can be beautiful. It's up to you.
It is really up to you. And I put out my fucking psionic tendrils and I wrapped my soul around all these people.
I think maybe you were on a different level of consciousness maybe too, or you were one of those guys that had leveled up.
I definitely leveled up.
Definitely, there was some level upness about Jonah, I'm sure.
Dude, it was so crazy, and we got back to our campsite, and the shell shock hits you after, like the shell shock of holy fuck!
Look what we just did.
Look what we just did, and your brain is melting, and everything is insane, and you gotta like sit there and put your brain back together for a few minutes.
Yeah, you do,
because. You really
need to introspect and let that sink in, that which you have just experienced, and the I guess the profundity of it all. It can be very, very shocking.
Well, and it was powerful because so we get back to our campsite, and of course we're fucking festival rookies. We don't have a very cool campsite. We don't really have anything. We don't know any of the tricks.
That has evolved, by the way.
We don't know shit. Yeah. This was the Scary Giles, baby, fucking everything that came in the future after this. All kinds of amazing, fun festival things that happened after this. But we came in there.
We've leveled the campsite up since then, definitely.
And
I wasn't there in
the
06.
three of us are sort of sitting there like, oh my God, what do we do next? We've got beer. We've got beer. We've got everything else we need. Our brain, we're bouncing around in our own brains. There's a cacophony of sounds through the darkness, just echoing across.
Parties going on here and there, and things are glowing and sparking, and there's people throwing fires and stuff. And I'm sure it's just.
And they guys, they looked at me and they were like, "What do we do, Jonah?"
Yeah, looking to you.
And I'm like, "Fuck, I don't know. Let's pack up my backpack full of beer. Let's fucking get these doobies. Let's try it out."
Marching towards the noise.
And dude, we started marching around.
Isn't that so much fun?
Oh, it's so great.
God, I love doing that.
And really,
you will meet so many people and have so much fun.
That's
where too, like,
that's where you do it.
You know, you tend to, if you party at your own campsite, oh well and good. That's more for like the people who want to draw others in, right? But if you're those newbies, if you're those people that have never been to a festival before, that's the time where you do need to like Jonah just said, fill a backpack full of beers and start walking. That's where you're going to bump into the people.
Show up with a smile.
Offer them a drink. They'll offer you 10, whatever. That's where the experience really flowers. That's where you can have the most fun. Skipping around campsite to campsite. Maybe you get comfortable and you have a seat for a few hours and you meet people. That's what
I've had people fall asleep in my campsite.
Absolutely.
You know? And that's a beautiful thing. That's a wonderful thing. That's what we
Go
want.
to sleep or pass out. I mean, really, potato.
It was out of this world. Everybody was
a little bit
ready
of column A, a little bit of column B.
And what we were finally drawn to was this glowing fucking disc. I was like, oh my God, what is that? People were throwing around this a flying saucer basically at that point.
Weird that a glowing disc would draw you guys in.
How so? Right? Of course. And we get pulled in, and it was these young dudes from a northern Washington town. I don't remember them anymore, but we shared with them. That was their first festival, and we sort of shared with them this sort of blissful first time festival goer experience because it's suddenly we connected with them. We're throwing around this glowing disc, and then it started downpouring on us. Monsoon. And everybody's running, screaming.
It's another thing that can be beautiful or it can be miserable.
Of course,
it's up to you.
It can turn on you.
It's up to you.
And they had a fucking canopy.
Sure.
And so when it starts raining and you have a canopy, people flock.
Oh, you are the hot ticket.
Hot ticket. Get me in there.
Get me
out of the rain. Get me in there. I don't care what's going on in there. Get me in there. Like I don't care if I fucking roll up in here and two people are boofing in the corner. I'm out of the rain.
Yeah.
If you don't know what boofing is,
I'm dry.
Look it up. I'm not going to explain it to you, but don't say I didn't warn you. And we get in there and we're all hiding out in the rain, and we share some laughs, we share some stories. It was so fucking fantastic. But then when it stopped raining, everybody sort of dispersed, except for this one guy, and he was odd. He was very odd.
Okay.
Not rude, not mean, not hostile, but just the
quiet guy.
A wanderer, dude, like super wanderer. He didn't have tickets to the festival.
Okay.
So he just bought a fucking campsite pass.
Right.
And we're all newbies. I would later find out that people like that are the very people that fucking steal from people. I'm not saying this dude was a fucking thief. Nothing turned up missing from these campsites.
Well, yeah, but why buy tickets to the show if you're just going to show up to
back then you could just buy a camping pass, and you could just
think
fucking.
You could have done that in 11 when I went.
No, by then you couldn't. But back in
Probably
the day,
a good policy.
Yeah.
To not
agree.
do that.
To not get tent raiders. You know?
Yeah.
So, dude, it was so fucking fantastic because I was kind of the oldest one there, and all these kids were younger. They were all like 19.
So
they're super young.
Something wild for them.
I'm like 25, 26.
They've never even been to a bar.
No, not at all. Never been to a bar, never been to a festival.
Right.
And all of a sudden they're like, They had this fucking cool camper. I don't know if these guys were trust fund kids, but they had a sweet ass fucking camper, big ass camper. They were dialed in. They had shit.
Yeah.
Even though that's their first time, all the nicest shit.
Sure.
We scraped together and drove a fucking Pinto out there. Not really, but
not an actual Pinto.
And it was just funny because you could tell like it was time. They wanted to fucking go. Right, and they're like, well, we're gonna go inside. We're gonna retire.
Right.
And this dude is like, all right, well, I'm just gonna chill here. Mm-hmm. And they're like, dude,
yeah, you probably.
We're like,
you're being weird.
Yeah, and dude, he was being weird. Like
it's
every
okay
once in a while,
weird,
he would
but...
and his name was Enoch.
Of course,
Enoch.
His name was Enoch.
Yeah. And the funniest fucking
nothing
thing,
against anyone out there named Enoch.
No, nothing. But there was like 10 of us around this table, right? And all of a sudden, the first thing he had contributed after anything, he comes out of nowhere, and he says, "Does anybody want to throw in on a Rizla?"
What the fuck is a Rizla,
dude? And every dead right, and it's met with crickets chirping.
Well, yeah.
And I say, E-Rock.
E-Rock? What the fuck?
And I said,
it's a Rizla.
I said, not Enoch, I did. I was like, E-Rock, what the fuck is a Rizla? And somebody's like, I think it's like a big-ass joint. And then the younger kid, sort of emboldened by my stance against E-Rock, was like, well, do you have anything to throw in on a Rizla, E-Rock? And
I have never heard this story.
And Enoch's like, no man, I don't even have nothing throwing on this Rizla, but I got this package of stickers, man. And he starts whipping it, and I got these T-shirts, man. So I'll throw in this T-shirt on a Rizla.
Enoch.
If you guys can throw in on a Rizla, I got some fucking weird stickers to promote whatever weird brand I have, and a T-shirt. And
oh, Enoch.
What that ties into is the beauty of the people you meet.
Right, it's not always going to be
Enoch was
weird
fucking harmless.
Enoch guy.
And he was
in
wonderful.
fact, that is by far the minority of experiences that you're gonna have. By a good margin, your experiences are gonna be great.
Oh,
I know mine have been.
Music festivals are phenomenal.
Absolutely.
They are medicine
big,
for your
small,
soul.
I've been to little ones, big ones, in betweenish ones, and they're dude, just go.
Well, somebody else
open your mind and go.
Yeah, try it out, discover. Fuck, I don't care. I guess I don't care. Would it matter if somebody wanted to go to like a country music festival as opposed to a festival we think is cool?
Not
Are
at
they
all.
Gonna get?
Well,
I mean, right? That same genuine sense of like community and compassion.
I guess I don't know.
And
I don't know.
And
I
sharing.
hope so. I hope that you're gonna experience this. And you have to know exactly what I'm talking about. Only by going, you're only gonna really understand what I'm saying. But I hope that like Jonah says at a country music festival or something, that you're gonna notice
black
something.
metal festival.
I'm forced to think that there might be a bit more closed-mindedness around at least a country music festival. And I'm not trying to stereotype anybody here, but these people tend to be rather
intoxicated.
Well, not just intoxicated. We get pretty intoxicated too.
Oh, we do.
But they tend to be rather, I don't know, more traditional and traditional, I guess, and stuck into certain patterns of thinking, and less apt to change gears and open mind and do things that might take them out of their comfort zone.
Maybe less willing.
And again,
to
I don't want to
new
stereotype them. That's not the purpose of what I'm talking about here. It's just that they're less apt to naturally. It's not something that they go to just automatically. And I'm going to stand up on my soapbox and say, like we do. No.
There's no right or wrong way to
You have to be
experience
very
music
conscious
festival.
of
You gotta
yourself
get out
and
there.
how you behave, how you go about taking in a new experience.
Well, dude, and experiencing a music festival the right way, it doesn't take alcohol, drugs, or cigarettes or anything like that. It just takes an open heart, an open mind, and a willingness to share your essence with other people around you.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
I want to share my essence with you. If I'm at a music festival, I'm going to tell you, I have like smeared myself all over you.
And to take
Not physically.
to take in someone else's essence, I suppose, without standing off with it, without pushing back.
Yeah, I want our souls to touch a little bit.
I'm not talking about letting somebody in, that you're going to be felt uncomfortable around. But at the same time, maybe sometimes getting outside your comfort zone is not always a bad thing.
No, it's never a bad thing. And on that note, my friends, go to a music festival. If your friend invites you to one, just fucking go.
Just go.
Even if you think you don't like the music or you don't know the music, that's the most common fear people produce when they say they can't or don't want to go to a music.
That's a big issue.
I don't know anybody that's on the
you
list.
will afterwards. I promise you.
Learn.
And some of my favorite acts, have become my favorite acts by seeing them live at a music festival. Where when I walked in the door, if you had asked me, "Oh, do you know anything about this band or this act?" I said, "No, I've never heard of them
Discovery.
before." And I go and listen to them, and I'm blown away, and they become some of my favorite bands. Twiddle is huge in my book, and I had never heard of them before. Wakarusa 2015. They're now one of my. I listen to them almost every day.
And my friends, my listeners, I love Wakarusa. I love music festivals. Let us know on Twitter at the Good Talk 5 or on our Facebook, Good Talk the podcast. What is your favorite music festival you've been to? What is your favorite concert you've been to?
Tell us a story too.
Share a story with
stories.
us. Tell us if you have a suggestion for awesome questions to include with the Good Talk 5. Put them on our Facebook, put them on our Twitter. We will include them in our show.
Topics you want to hear us
I
cover.
want to give a big thank you, bro hug, heart hug to my man, Steve Wilson. He's producing the art for our thumbnails.
Thank you. Your sketch was awesome. I love the first one.
It's great.
I love the first. Have you got the second one yet, Jonah?
Yeah, I've got the second one.
I haven't
Rob
even
hasn't
seen
even
this
seen it
yet.
So Steve
the first
Wilson.
one is so cool.
Thank you. We love you. I'm Jonah Lanto.
Chris Rubb.
We are The Good Talk, and check us out. Peace.
Good talk.